Hello everyone, welcome to this particular video. In this video, we'll be taking a look at how to model a connecting rod with Autodesk Inventor. On your screen, you'll be seeing a diagram of the connecting rod that we will be modeling. The diagram has three views. The side view, a section side view of the connecting rod, the front view, and the plan of the connecting rod. We'll be taking a look at how to model this using Autodesk Inventor. If you are interested, then let's get started. When you open your Autodesk Inventor software and you go to Parts, you select Parts, Environment. The very first thing you would like to do is your unit setting. By default, Autodesk Inventor is in inches. So the diagram I have, the unit is in millimeter. So I will change my unit setting from inches to millimeter. To do that, go to Tools, Document Setting, Units, then change from inches to millimeter. Apply, close. I switch back to my 3D model. After my unit setting, the next thing I would like to do is to take a little study of the diagram I would like to model. Now, if you look at this diagram, looking at the front view, the method I want to use to model this is I'll be creating this semicircle and this circle. Then I'm going to extrude at 38 millimeter. Now I can see that the semicircle has an extrusion of 38. Also, the circle has an extrusion of 38. Because they are the same extrusion, I will model them together, then extrude together. So I'm going to be doing this step. I go to my Autodesk Inventor, Environment, Start 2D Sketch. I'll select the front plane, my XY plane. Now I've set my unit to millimeter, so that means I'm good to go with my drawing. Okay, for convenience, I would like to pan my drawing down a little bit. I pick line. I need a construction line of length 201.2 millimeter. 201.2. So I need a center line. So I'm going to draw that line, center line. From the origin, I need a vertical line, 201.2. Enter. I can adjust my zoom and pan for convenience. If you are using a mouse that has a scroll wheel, it will help you to zoom and pan conveniently. Escape on my keyboard. So I've drawn a center line of 201.2. So the center line connects the circle and the semicircle. So if I go to the circle end, I have two diameter 45 and diameter 33.8. So I'm going to draw that. So circle, I'll make sure I switch off my center line because I don't want a center line again. I want a circle. So now when you are working with Autodesk Inventor, always make sure that your point, that you are picking the right point. You can see that green dot. So that green dot is the center of the circle I want. Diameter 45 and 33.0, 33.8. Another circle of 45 diameter. Okay. All right. 33.8 and 45. I will come to this end and I'm going to draw my semicircle or my arc. I'm going to use an arc to draw a semicircle of radius 27 and radius 36. Radius 27 and radius 36. So I'm going to use an arc. So the method of arc I'm going to use is center point method. Center point method. So I pick center point method. Then I pick the origin as my center. I move horizontally at length 20 at radius 27 and 36. Because I'm using an arc, so I can put my radius dimension 36. Once it's marked, then I move anti-clockwise 180 degree and enter. Then the other unit is 27. So I'm going to follow the same step. Let me zoom out a little bit. Center horizontally 27, then move anti-clockwise. Make sure you have 180 degree then before you click. So now I'm able to draw semicircle of radius 36 and radius 27. Now I'm going to be connecting these two with a line. All right. At this point, I will not be connecting the circle and the semicircle. I won't be connecting them with this line at this point because I noticed that the extrusion of this place is 18, not the same as 38. Because they have this different extrusion distance, I won't be drawing them together. So at this point, I'll go ahead and extrude what I have. So finish sketch, extrude. I'll select this and I'll select inside of this. Now, the method of extrusion I'm going to be using is I'm going to be using symmetric. With symmetric, the distance, which is 38, will be shared in two different directions. So, total distance of 38 will be shared in two different directions, to the front and to the back. So you can see I'm using this method of extrusion because looking at my diagram, I will need to draw this connecting piece, and I would like to use the center as my reference plane. So it's more convenient for me to use the center as my reference plane other than using the ends as my plane. So I'm going to be extruding on both sides equally. That's symmetric. Total of 38. So I'm going to click on accept. Okay. All right. This is looking good. So now my next step will be to connect these two pieces, to connect them together, And the information I have a distance of 20 here. And I also have, what other information do I have? 20. Okay. I also have this angle of 6 degrees. This line is a bit inclined. It's not a straight line. This line is not a straight line. The line is a bit inclined at an angle of 6 degrees. The distance here is 20 and the inclination of this line is 6 degrees. So how am I going to do this? Start to the sketch, select plane. I'm supposed to select my plane. So I want to still use the initial plane I started with. So I'll come to my origin and select my XY plane. I select my XY plane. So that's the plane I want to work with. Then I don't have the center line again. So I would want to draw that back. So drawing the center line. Okay, I think it's better I connect it from the center. From the center. So next step for me, I will, so next step for me, I'm going to draw this connecting piece. Start to the sketch. So I'm going to use the initial plane I started with, which is the plane at the middle of this. So that is my XY plane. I select the plane. Now the center line is no longer there, so I'm going to draw it again. Center line. So from here to here, center line. So escape to cancel this. So that's the center line. Now the distance here is 20. So I'm going to be using offset tool. Offset. I will offset this at a distance of 10. So because it's 20, so it's 10 on both sides. So 10 here, 10 here. That makes the 20. So this distance is 10. 10, 10. That makes 20. So I've used offset. to create a distance of 10. I don't need this line to be a center line. So I'm going to select it and I'm going to select the line and remove offset. Okay. Now this line is not meant to be a straight line. It's meant to be inclined at an angle of 6. So how am I going to do that? I'll pick line, make sure it's not a center line. Now at this point, now you can see that the yellow dot and yellow dot indicating an intersection with this circle. So at the intersection of this circle and the line, there's a yellow dot. So I'm going to be starting from the yellow dot. Make sure you pick your point right from the yellow dot. Now I just draw at any angle. I draw at any angle. Escape. I'll be using dimension to constrain my angle to 6 degree. So 28, 6. I'll change the 28 to 6. All right, good. Now I can delete this. Select, delete. Okay, so I have my line inclined at an angle of 6. Now this line is not touching this semicircle over here. So ideally what I would do is to extend. But if I extend this at this point, I guess nothing is going to happen. The reason why nothing is happening is because now this is 3D, this is 2D. This is 3D, this is 2D. So it's not 2D cannot see this 3D. So the only thing I can do is to use project geometry to highlight the edges of this 3D to form a 2D. So I'll use project geometry to select this 3D. Now you will see that there's a yellow outline. There's a yellow outline. The yellow outline is indicating that there is now a 2D drawn on the 3D. So now if I extend this line, now it can reference that 2D, which is that yellow line. So it can reference it so my extend can work. So I've been able to do that. Next step for me is to use mirror. Mirror, select the object I want to mirror, which is this. My mirror line, which is this center line. Apply. Good. Done. Very good. I think I'm achieving success with this. Okay, so next step is I would like to extrude this. I would like to extrude this to form this thickness of 18. But before I can extrude, this is not yet a closed object. This is not a closed object yet. So because it's not a closed object, extrude is not going to work. Extrude or extrude, not that extrude cannot work, but if I extrude an open object, I'm going to get a surface. If I extrude a closed object, I'm going to get a solid. I want a solid object. This is a solid object. This part is a solid part. So because I want a solid part, it means I have to extrude a closed object. So now I'm going to try and close this. So I'm going to use an arc. What option of arc should I use? I'm going to be using this 3-point method of arc. So let me zoom this out. So I'm going to click this first point and be sure you are clicking the right point. Point 1, point 2, then this point. So now I have an arc over there. I'll do the same thing on this hand. Point 1, point 2, point 3. So now I'm sure I have a closed object. So I can go ahead and finish sketch, extrude. I'll select. Now the same method, I want to extrude symmetric because I'm using the middle plane as my reference plane. So I'm going to click symmetric. Then the total distance is 18, not 38. 18. Okay, good. This is looking good. My connecting rod is coming up. All right, so the next step I'm going to do is there is a hollow of depth of 4. Depth of 4. There's a hollow of depth of 4. The hollow is on both sides of the connecting rod. So we have it here. Now I'm going to draw that on this face. I'm going to draw that. What information do I have? Okay, what information? Okay, 55.6 from this center, 55.6. I'll get to this. Then what's the radius of this? The radius of this, do I have it? Okay, yes, I have that the thickness is 16. The thickness is 16. So that means the diameter is 16. radius of 8, diameter of 16. So let me first get to this point, 55.6 from this end. 55.6. So start to the sketch. My plane. I'm working on this plane. All right. I'm working on the plane. Now I need to reference the center of the circle because I want to measure 55.6 from it. But because this is 3D, so it cannot give me 2D. So the way to get 2D from 3D is to use project geometry. So project geometry, I select the 3D, it outlines the edges of the 3D forming 2D. So now I can reference the center. So line, center line, 55.6. Make sure it's vertical line. You can see the vertical sign coming up, 55.6. Escape. I'm able to do that. Now I need a circle of diameter 16. Circle of diameter 16. Make sure it's not on center line from this center point, 16. All right, looking good. I need another circle at this end at a distance of 90. So center line again from this center, vertical 90. I need another circle, not a center line, 16. Very good. So I can connect these two pieces with a line. So tangent. So I'm connecting. All right, good. Now I'm going to trim, 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 trim. All right. Now I can see there is a lot of dimension coming up in my drawing, and so that you won't get confused, I'm going to delete some of these dimensions. Okay, let me delete. Let me delete which one should I delete? Let me delete this so that you don't get confused with what I have. All right, so this is what I have. I've deleted my dimensions so that you can see more into what I have. Now you can see I have a closed object, which is what I want. So finish sketch. So in most cases, when you are to use extrude, you always want to have a closed object. Now the depth of this is 4 from the diagram. The depth is 4. So 4, I'm extruding inwards because I'm having a cut. So make sure it's a cut and depth of 4. Okay, that's good. Now this is good. Now this cut is on both sides. Is on both sides of the connection rod. So a quick way to do that is mirror. So my mirror plane is going to be in the middle, which is the plane I've been working with, XY plane. Now to make that plane visible, I'll come here and right click visibility. All right, so the mirror plane is visible. It was hidden before. So now I've made it visible. So now I can now use my mirror. Mirror. The feature I want to extrude is this. My mirror plane is this. Then I can, okay. Now I have my mirrored object and the two faces. Now this plane I've made open. I'm going to hide it back. Okay, so I'll right click and remove visibility. Now I have the 4 mm depth on both sides of the connecting rod, which is what I want. Okay, next step, I can take another step further. Next step is for me to uh, draw this base. Draw this base. Now, what information do I have? Now, I can see that there is a hollow. There is a hollow part of 76 center to center, 76 center to center. So now let me try and do that. Um, Let me get a point first. So I orbit. I orbit. If you don't know how to use orbit, this is the orbiting tool. You can click on it here and drag. So I can turn the connection rod in a different direction. Tap to the sketch. Select this plane. Now select the plane. I want uh 76. I want, okay, 76 divided by 2. So line, a center line from this center, 76 divided by 2. Okay, escape, line again from this other hand, vertically 76 divided by 2. So at the end of it, escape. Now 38, 38. So that still makes 76 in all. That still makes 76 in all. So now I have the center of where the hole is going to be. So what information do I have about the hole? I have two holes of diameter 9 and radius 9. Radius 9 means diameter 18. So it means I have two holes of diameter 9 for the inner, diameter 18 for the outer. Diameter 9 for the inner, diameter 9, then diameter 18. This radius I've converted it to diameter. So radius of 9 is diameter of 18. So diameter 9 and diameter 18. I'll be drawing the two circles. Make sure you are not on center line. I don't need a center line circle. So diameter 9, enter. Another circle of diameter 18. Yes, now I have two circles. So actually, I'm not supposed to draw the inner circle now. I'm not supposed to draw the inner circle now. I can do the inner circle later. So I'm going to delete the inner circle. I think it's advisable I should not draw it now. The reason is because the circle is meant to be a hollow. It's meant to be a hollow. And drawing it here, I can see there's an intersection of that circle with this surface. So in order to form the hollow much better, it's better I do it after I've done my model. It should be one of the things I'm going to do last. So I'm going to remove this, the diameter 9. So I'm only having one circle of diameter 18. It's better that way. I can add that diameter 9 later on. Okay, good. Finish sketch. Finish sketch. So now I'm going to extrude. Extrude. What is the height? Height of 30. 30. So extrude. Select. I want it to be this direction. It should not be a cut, but an addition. It should be a join, not a cut. So distance of 30. Okay, all right. So looking at what I have, distance, I want a join 30 in this direction. So good. This is what I have now. Now at this point, I can now add my diameter 9. Diameter 9. So start to the sketch, click on this surface, circle, um, diameter 9. Do the same thing here. Now I cannot reference that center. Okay, yeah. I think I've made a little mistake, but not okay, not a mistake here. Not a mistake here. But here I noticed that I cannot reference the center of this circle. I can't reference the center of this circle because it's a 3D. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use project geometry to outline the edges of the 3D for me so I can get a 2D. Now, now I have the center, diameter 9. But I don't have that problem here because coincidentally, it falls at the center of at the origin. So I don't have that issue here. So finish sketch, extrude, select. I want a cut, not a join. This is a join, this is a cut. So cut, cut takes me the opposite direction. I can, okay, good. Now I have my connecting rod. Okay, good. I'm done with my model. Now, okay. Um, yes, now we are done with the model. So the final step of what we are going to do is we are going to be having fillets at the necessary points. Fillet is one of the things you do last when you're modeling. So now what information do I have for the fillet? Here I can see a fillet of radius 22.5. So at this end, 22.5. So I'll go to fillet radius 22.5. So add my fillet here, 22.5, add my fillet here, apply. Okay, that's good. Where else do I need fillet? Now there is a fillet at, so there is a fillet of radius 40 connecting this side, a fillet of radius 40. So I'm going to add that. So I'll go to fillet radius 40. Then I'll select the edge I want to apply the fillet. Okay, 40. Then I'll select the edge I want to apply the fillet. Then also at this other side of it, 40, apply, cancel. All right, so I've been able to apply fillet there. So what else? Where else do I need to apply fillet? Where else do I need to apply fillet? So fillet is meant to reduce sharp corners. Now I can see there's a fillet of radius 3 here, radius 1 at this corner, radius 1 at this corner. Okay, let me have that. Fillet of radius 1 at this corner. So fillet radius 1. So at this corner, good. So I'll do the same thing for the other hand. Radius 1, apply, cancel. Okay, that looks good. Then also another fillet of radius 3. Okay, another fillet at this corner, fillet of radius 3, fillet of radius 3, fillets, fillets, apply, cancel. Okay, my connecting one is looking so good. Okay, anytime you are working on Inventor project, always make sure you save your work. So now at this point, I'm going to be saving this project. So I'm going to click on save. So always make sure you save. I'm going to create a folder. So I'm going to name the folder the name of the assembly I'm working on, not the name of the file itself, but the name of the assembly. So my assembly, I'm going to call it crank assembly. Crank assembly. So that's the name of the folder. Then the name of the part is connecting rod. So I'm saving connecting rod inside the folder of crank assembly. So always make sure you save your file. You save it inside the folder. The folder should be the name of the assembly, the crank assembly, and the part is connecting rod. So I'm going to save this. Now I've saved it here on the project browser. Now you can see connecting rod and you can see all the parts that have made up the connecting rod. All the steps we have done: extrusion, we have mirrored, we have extruded, we have used fillets. So all the steps. So at any point, in case you make mistake, you can easily go to any point and make adjustments and make edit to any step that you want. In case you have made a mistake, there's an error in your dimension, so you can easily go to any stage and make correction. So that's one of the advantages that Autodesk Inventor has. So I don't see any error here. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be adding material. So to do that, select the name, connecting rod, come to this button over here, appearance. Then I'm going to be giving it, what material should I give it? Let me call it steel. Let me look for steel material. Okay. Let me look for, I don't have any material, any particular material in mind. I'll just look for something that looks good. I will look for a preview that looks good. I don't have any particular name in mind. Okay. Okay. Scroll through. Okay. Okay. I think I like this. Still, I'm going to apply this. So right click, assign to selection. So galvanized steel. So I'm settling for galvanized steel. I think I like galvanized steel on my material. All right. So at the end of it, you can see what we have. We have a connecting rod. We have added galvanized steel on it. Okay. So let me know on the comment section if you have any question, if you have any challenge. If you enjoyed this video, let me also know. I would like to get your feedback. Thank you so much. So see you in the next video. In the next video, we'll be creating another part of our assembly, of our crank assembly. We'll be creating another part of the crank assembly. So follow on with this video. Thank you.